right below us is the third floor balcony that attaches to room number 312. So one of the young, can you all hear me okay? Okay. So one of the young ladies was back there, was in this room, about 10:30 at night, doing her thing. And the rest of the students were scattered around the building and doing whatever they were doing at that time of night in school. And they heard this blood-curdling scream, come from this room up here. So they come running up here to try to find this girl. They can't find her anywhere. They look all over the building for this girl. They can't find her. They finally found her. She was out in the garden below. She had apparently fallen to her death from the balcony down to the garden below. So it was, just thought to be an accident, a very sad accident. Time went on, and they were sad, but it was just one of those things. Well, not too long after this happened, though, a rumor began to circulate that this young lady had become pregnant out of wedlock. And this was quite the scandal in those days. It was a big deal for these, especially with these wealthy families. They'd be terribly upset about this kind of thing. So the School for Girls, they did not want this kind of publicity. So they didn't really talk about it. Didn't make the yearbook or anything, the papers or anything like that. And but the question began to be asked quietly behind closed doors. Was there some kind of foul play? What really happened to this poor girl? Was this more than an accident? Well, nobody wanted to investigate. It's a can of worms they didn't want to open up. So just kind of time went on. The school closed down. The mystery, was never looked at. Well, ever since then, and even to this day, it's kind of rare. It doesn't happen every night, certainly not. But every once in a while, one of our, somebody will be down in the garden down below about this time of night, and they'll look up at the third floor balcony up here, and they say that they see this cloud of mist develop on this balcony. And inside is this young lady. And she looks kind of sad, and then all of a sudden, she just kind of tumbles off the rail of the balcony, falls into the garden below. The cloud of mist dissipates. There's nothing left. But when they look back up at the balcony, this dark figure backs away from the rail. So again, this question of foul play comes to mind. Something else happened to this girl besides being an accident. Well, no way to know, of course, at this point. But as you probably know, we've had a lot of ghost shows come to the hotel over the years. A lot of paranormal investigators, a lot of, we have seances every year on Halloween and other times of the year too. And they've looked into the story for us a little bit, and a couple of ideas have emerged about who is this dark figure from these investigations. One of them is that it's her father, and he's come along to take her from this evil place, take her back home, have this baby in secret, but she doesn't want to go. So they had this terrible fight, and somehow she falls off the balcony to her death. And the other idea anyway, is that it was her boyfriend, and he's come along to beg her to come away. Come away, my dear, we'll get married, hang society, we can make it, but she's too ashamed of herself, and so she jumps to her death. But in any case, it's a sad story and a tragic ending for this girl, and a mystery that we still don't know what the answer is. But I have a little photo here I want to show you guys. I forgot to mention about these photos, I think. I have a couple of photos I'm going to show you guys during the tour here. This is one of them. So right behind this wall is the bar, and one night some gentlemen were in there having a few drinks. The guy was going to be getting married soon. They were toasting himself, having some margaritas, taking his picture. And they didn't know it at the time, but they caught a little apparition. You think it's a girl in this? And that's actually right behind you, man, where it was taken there, where she was sitting right behind, right there, behind the window. See that arm? Oh, I'll get there.
Oh, wow. Holy cow.
The girl in this. Hey. You see that thing? I got y'all? Hey, good job.
That is a full apparition.
That is awesome.
Yeah, these apparitions, they're not too common.
No.
So again, if you get anything cool, please share it with us. If you get any cool pictures, that's what we like to get. And this is shared with us by our guest. So again, just kind of a mystery. But now there is another tale about the third floor balcony, real quick. A little lighter. So the School for Girls days, so the boys here in town had a little deal with the school, for girls students here. They had a little scheme. They come here in the evening and they'd hang out in the garden below, hide out, and they'd do a little bird whistling. And so the girls, they would lower a laundry basket from the third floor balcony down to where the boys were, and the boy would climb into the basket. They'd haul him back up to the balcony, and it would be date night at the School for Girls. Well, Mr. Thompson, he's our president of our school, Richard Ryan Thompson. He found out about this little arrangement, and he goes out there one night to put a kibosh on it. He kicks a couple of guys out of the garden, sends them on their way, and then he does the bird whistle. The basket comes down. He climbs into the basket. They start pulling it up. Their girls are pulling the basket up. They get him all the way up to almost there, and they say, "Oh my God!" They see who it is, and they let it go. And so he fell. He fell, but he didn't get hurt too bad or anything. But that was the end of the dating game at the school for girls. That ended that little practice. But anyway, guys, let's go back inside. We can go back down the way we came.